Hey, good morning and welcome to Lorain County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Wednesday, February 1st, 2023. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, Commissioner Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Riddell,
Here.
and Commissioner Hung. She is
She's out.
absent and excused. All right, go ahead to resolutions.
Correct.
Number 1, investments.
Okay. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations.
This is this page? Yeah, we only have one page, so.
I move that we accept the appropriations.
Second?
Discussion? Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments. We don't have any.
There were none.
Number 5, requisitions.
What we're gonna do is change it up a little bit more. It's a little bit easier on our staff if we go through each page prior to making a motion, so that if this board sees any changes, that we can make those changes prior to voting. It'll make it easier on our staff, and even our assistant prosecutor advised that would probably be easier on everybody, so, which is,
I think it's just, we talked about this morning, Commissioner, it'll just be a little clearer with one motion and one resolution. You guys can discuss by page.
Yeah.
And then do it at once rather than having to repeat it several times.
so what we'll do is, we'll start out with page 1. As you can see, we only have 6 pages, so on page 1 of 6, this is part of our requisitions. We've already reviewed it, they've been signed off. Page 2. This is more of our requisitions from all the different departments. They've been reviewed and signed off, just haven't been voted on yet. And go to page 3. Again, they've been reviewed and signed off. We'll be voting on this also today. If you go to page 4, please. Hopefully we'll have these elevators taken care of. That's on page 4, so. And hopefully I see the sheriff's in here today. Hopefully he'll see that we're gonna fix that jail roof and get some of those rooftops taken care of. Yeah. And there we go. Page 6 of 6. Items 574 through 579 was on last week, but the Director of Visitors Bureau did not review them, so that's why we pulled them from last week, and they're back on today. So I make a motion to approve the requisitions as reviewed.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 6, travel.
There were none.
Number 7, bills.
Again, there's 2 pages here, so we'll review page 1. We'll do this all under one resolution. I did have some concerns. Once again, it looks like we're spending more money on Amazon than local businesses. You can see that in a couple places in here. I've advised the county administrator to reiterate that, we need to keep our money here. So Amazon's easy, and it may be a little bit affordable, but we're sending our money elsewhere. So we brought this up a while ago, maybe about 1.5 years ago. I see a little bit more on here that I'm comfortable with. It's not a lot of money, but it's a policy I think we should adhere to. Page 2, please, sir. Again, these are just some of the bills that we have to pay. It's a lot clearer than the one I think we did last week, so that's good. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll make a motion to approve the bills as reviewed.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 8, Authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. At the conclusion of today's board meeting, the commissioners may recess into an executive session to discuss personnel, new hires, and board appointments.
Okay, item number B is public comment on agenda items first. If there's anything on the agenda you'd like to speak to, now would be a good time to speak. I know we have some speakers in here that's gonna be talking. I'll bring you up in those items under, I think, community development, and I believe there's somebody here, correct? So if there's anybody who wishes to speak in regards to our agenda item today? Nothing, okay, then we'll move on.
All right, C, board business, number 9. Establish compensation for law directors prosecuting violations of state law in municipal courts, Ohio Revised Code 1901.34 for the year of 2023. Lorain, Elyria, and Oberlin, $7,500 each. North Ridgeville and Amherst, $5,625 each. Avon Lake, Avon, Sheffield Village, and Sheffield Lake, $3,750 each. South Amherst and Wellington, $1,500 each. Kipton, Rochester, Grafton, Vermillion, and LaGrange, $750 each.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 10, under Community Development, authorize Neighborhood Alliance to sign a contract on behalf of Lorain County for professional services provided by Clark and Post for the CDBG CV project awarded to Lorain County for the Haven Center project. State received $27.2 million in the first allocation of CDBG CV funds through CARES Act to be used for public services and public facilities projects to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the COVID-19 pandemic. Lorain County received $1.1 million.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Discussion?
Yeah, yes, I believe there's some people here that wish to discuss this issue, if you don't mind. I thought it'd be a nice way to kind of do some promotions too, guys, so just to educate the public and. Good mornings.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having us today. Drake Hopewell with Community Development, and we have been working in regards to this project with the Haven Center roughly for the last 18 months to 2 years on this project. Now we're at the point where the long-term funding is trying to be finalized so that we can actually get this project ready to go out to bid. That requires us to procure the professional services of an engineer or an architect or / both. And they've done that through Clark and Post initially on the pre-application. And so we're at this point now where because of the involvement of the county on the project, because Neighborhood Alliance actually started the project without us, they needed us so that we could procure the $1.1 million. So therefore it became our project collectively once that did occur. So that's where we're at, and we do have Alicia Foose from Neighborhood Alliance here, and Ian Berry can shed a little more light on exactly what we need, and then we can answer any questions that you may have.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So just a little bit of background too for Clark and Post specifically. They have responded to the SOQ that the county put out in 2022. We're still looking into the 2023, so there's the potential for them to partner with us as well. I know that they've worked on a few other projects in the past with Neighborhood Alliance and the county, so I don't see there being an issue on that front. So if you guys do have any questions in particular that, either Alicia or I could answer about the project, we'd be more than happy to here.
Could you share with the public the general scope of the project?
Yeah, so the Haven Center in Lorain, currently, it's an L. Currently what the project plans to do is to enclose that. So there would be a courtyard in the center, essentially doubling the size of the Haven Center. So the pandemic specifically kind of outlined, hey, there are some issues with capacity and being able to social distance when people are sick, and just making it so there's a little bit more room to travel throughout the building without having to come in contact with individuals. You know, and I don't know, Alicia, if you have anything, you're more of an expert than I am.
Good morning. I'm Alicia Foss.
Fox, please. I just want to say, just make certain you mention that it's the services you guys provide.
Sure. I'm the president and CEO of Neighborhood Alliance, and thank you for letting me have a chance to talk with you today. The Haven Center Homeless Shelter is the only 24-hour-a-day homeless shelter that we have here in Lorain County. We serve men, women, and intact families. So for women and families, we're the only shelter that's available to them. There is another men's shelter that we partner with to make sure the men are covered as well. The project that we're working on throughout the pandemic, and prior to that, we're a congregate shelter, and so we have 7 people sharing a dorm room and about 30 people sharing a bathroom, which with the spread of COVID is not helpful. So we had looked at this project prior to COVID beginning and had it sort of on our back burner as we were working on our kitchen project, the Neighborhood Nutrition Kitchen, which I'm happy to say is now complete, and we're getting ready to open. So there will be a grand opening coming soon. And so as we were working on that, this project came to the forefront as more of an emergent situation because of COVID, and making sure that we were able to separate out quarantine people who do have COVID and other illnesses like the flu or a pink eye or anything like that, but also to try to give people a little bit more dignity when they're with us. You've got families and single women and single men all residing together in our facility, and there's not a lot of separation, so not a lot of space for the families to take care of the children. They have to go through security to get in and out of the building. So the L-shaped addition that we're planning to put on, and that's really what this funding is going toward, will allow us to enclose a courtyard, have an area for the kids to play in when they're staying with us, and then add additional rooms. During the pandemic, we had, at some points, 125 people that we were taking care of. Our facility is only 68 beds. So you can see where that gets into hotels, warming centers, additional facilities, alternate sites that we have to use, and all of that costs a lot of money. So in order to bring down those costs, we really feel it's more effective for us to have all of that in-house. Then our case managers are right there with them, can help them work on employment and housing, and get some more stability into their lives so that we can send them back out into the community.
Yep, and kitchen project.
Kitchen
I'm gonna call it-
project,
I'm just gonna call it
yes.
that.
Yeah.
How far out are you?
So the construction is done.
Okay.
We have passed city inspections. We have passed the pre-licensing inspection with the Department of Health. So our next steps are, we have Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging that has to sign off so that we can move the home delivered meals program over. And then the Department of Agriculture will have to sign off as well so that we can deliver to our other facilities so that all of our kitchens can be consolidated. Those are both scheduled this month. We're on their schedules. We're just waiting for them to come out. And then our official move date to move from our facility in Lorain into the Neighborhood Nutrition Kitchen is March 8th.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we're there. It's just a matter of getting these last final pieces in place and getting prepared to open that kitchen. So we're looking at like mid-March that we'll have that kitchen up and running.
No, it's fun taking the sledgehammer to some of the opportunity to start out. So it'll be nice to see it come to conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't look anything like it did when you were there with the sledgehammers.
Okay, well, it's nice to hear.
Yeah. And thank you for your help on that and your support.
No,
I
that's,
really
it was,
appreciate that.
no. I like how you guys operate, as I've said in the past. You guys offer a lot of synergies with a lot of people. But I do get phone calls in regards when you say you're the only homeless shelter. I think people take offense, because we do have several homeless shelters, in this. So can you define when you say that, what that means?
So we are the only congregate homeless shelter for women and children. We're the only one.
Okay.
Other people offer some kind of housing or shelter for them, but it's not a homeless shelter.
Okay.
There's a very distinct line between the two.
I just wanted to
I know.
define it.
I know, and it is very hard to define what the difference is, but there is a difference between the two, and we are technically the only homeless
But there's a
shelter.
lot of volunteers out there
Yes.
that volunteer in other agencies, so I want
Yep,
to make
they
sure.
do. Yep,
Okay.
and
The other
they
side
all
of
do
that
great
coin
work.
being that the families are in stress, so that there's other issues, but they're not homeless. You're the homeless shelter.
We are the homeless shelter, yes. Yeah. Yeah, we go through coordinated entry, and when coordinated entry does referrals, we are the homeless shelter for women and families, yes, and then we do take men as well.
Okay, I appreciate you coming in today
No problem, thank you.
thanks for the update.
Commissioner, I think this would be a good place to share that this is the kind of use of the COVID funds that we really get attached to, because some of us, not all of us, but some of us will see another pandemic at some point. And it would be nice to know that we've adjusted and we can handle it better the next time around than we did the last time.
Yes, it would be great.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
We already made the motion, second it, right? Okay.
All right. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
All right,
Under Workforce Development, number 11, approve MOU with Place to Recover to allow for the creation of a disaster relief employment opportunity to be reimbursed through the Fresh Start Grant in an amount not to exceed $47,801.78 and will be paid from the WIOA account, Disaster Relief Account, effective January 16th, 2023 through February 24th, 2024. ODJFS awarded a 2-year National Health Emergency Disaster Recovery Dislocated Worker Fresh Start Grant from the U.S. Department of Labor intended to address the opioid crisis and better support Ohio's employers as well as individuals who are in recovery, and Place to Recovery, P2R, Training and Resource Center, Inc., is willing to provide such services.
Motion to approve?
second.
Discussion? Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
All right,
Number 12, under Children's Services, authorize and rescind various personnel to utilize the agency's MasterCard for the year 2023, not to exceed $2,500 in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code and their permissible policy.
so moved.
Second?
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
All right,
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 13, under Engineer, awarding a contract in the amount of $67,225 to Dennis Concrete, Inc. of Wellington, Ohio, for the Menzel Road easement storm sewer in Eaton Township, which concludes a contingency for any unforeseen change orders and services to be paid from the stormwater account.
so moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Did we add the amount to that?
I did.
Very good.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye,
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 14, advertise for bids for Hughes Road Bridge number 0255 superstructure replacement, Pittsfield Township. Notice to be in the Chronicle on February 13th and February 20th, 2023, and open at 2 p.m. on March 2nd, 2023. Work consists of the removal and replacement of the existing reinforced concrete bridge deck with a prefabricated steel beam structure. Engineer's construction estimate for the project is $98,300, and funds for the work will be provided by the Ohio Public Works Commission, and the Lorain County Engineer.
So moved?
second.
Discussion? Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
All right,
Number 15, under Sheriff, authorize the Lorain County Sheriff to apply for the 2022 Law Enforcement Recruitment Grant through the Office of Criminal Justice Services in the amount of $23,136.16 for 2 recruitment videos, one in English and one in Spanish, as well as provide tuition and salary for 2 attendees at a recruiting course and to be paid from the 9% account.
so moved.
Second?
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye,
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 16, authorize the Lorain County Sheriff to apply for 2022 ARPA grant funds in the amount of $555,484.64 for mental wellness visits and officer retention to be paid from the 9% account.
so moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Sheriff, would you like to say anything? It's a pretty large amount, and sounds like your office is doing a good job at getting some money, so, and you showed up, so let's hear about it.
Yeah, Captain Ashdown had put in for this grant earlier. It's through, obviously through the state, through OCJS. And it's a competitive grant, so there's obviously a lot of departments putting in for it. But as you know, officer wellness is a big thing nowadays because, unfortunately, there's a lot of officers that commit suicides and things that happen. They see a lot during their careers, and it does weigh on you. So we're hoping to get this grant so we can get them in, and then that way it'll pay for any type of counseling. You know, policemen in general don't like to be counseled by anybody, I can tell you that, but they need it sometimes. And, you know, when these traumatic things happen, you know, I'm a man, I can handle it. Well, that's not true. Everybody needs help once in a while, but this grant will help us do that with our officers.
Okay. Well, do you know when you'll find out if you are awarded it? Did they say?
We're hoping to find out within a couple months.
Couple
I think
months?
they're-
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, through the governor's office, through OCJS, you know, but we'll find out then.
Okay, congratulations. Good job.
I see the budget director here. Could we explain the 9% account? It's kind of a weird name. 9% of what?
Yeah.
Well, so the 9% refers to, and Sheriff, you probably can jump in if you need to, but the 9% I believe refers to the PRS rate for the patrol, for the road crew, for the patrol services. So that's the way of distinguishing the deputies' payroll and their rates versus the sheriff's staff, the rest of the staff.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? All right, Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell,
Aye.
and then public comment.
Let's see, we have a few people here. How about Jeremy Kraus? Welcome.
How's everyone doing this morning? Thank you
Oh,
for allowing me
yeah.
to speak and
Nope.
take up a little bit of your time. My intention today is just to introduce myself, say congratulations on 2023 here. Hopefully this is a great year for us, and to talk a little bit about what I'm trying to do in the community here. My name is Jeremy Kraus. I'm the Community Outreach Manager for Brightview in Elyria. We are a new outpatient addiction treatment center that has just recently opened on Griswold Drive in Elyria here. I'm a person in recovery myself. I'm coming up on 4 years of sobriety. Had nothing but the clothes on my back a few years ago, and you know, I've built a great life for myself because of resources that have been available in Lorain County and just in general in Ohio to be able to help people like get back on their feet and transform their lives and get to where they need to go. You know, what I like about Brightview is our ease of access. You know, I've worked in the recovery field. I used to help the Alpha House and the George's House do their outreach and, you know, build their intake department there. And one of the common things that I used to find was that it was hard to get into places. It was dictated by what insurance you had or didn't have, whether you had transportation or money, or if you had a clinical mental health and substance use disorder assessment, you know, and many other factors that can determine whether you're going to get treatment or not. And what I'd like to let everybody know about Brightview is, you know, that ease of access is there. We are here in Lorain County to give people immediate access to these resources. The opioid epidemic, you know, overdose rates might fluctuate up and down, but, you know, they continue to get worse with the flood of fentanyl in our streets. They now put it in methamphetamines, they put it in cocaine, they lace it on marijuana now. We're seeing people come in that say, you know, I don't know why I'm going through this withdrawal. All I did was smoke marijuana, and they're testing positive for fentanyl. So with the immediate access for us, insurance doesn't matter. It doesn't dictate whether you're going to get help or not. We accept all forms of insurance. No insurance, we can help provide transportation to your appointments. There is no wait list ever. You know, we have easy online scheduling available. We have 24/7 call center. My intention in this community is to be able to work with, you know, the commissioner's offices, our law enforcement, our first responders, and other agencies in order to make these resources available so that there can be even more awareness and immediate access available to these services. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to let me introduce myself. I would love to extend an invitation for you guys to come and check out our facility. If you have time, I can leave my card.
Please do.
However you prefer that we do that. And again, I thank you for your time.
Oh, and you're the community outreach?
I am, yes.
Okay. We're kind of really big on synergies and working together. I know the sheriff's was working, we're doing a jail, we're looking at maybe creating something so that the jail is no longer a detox facility. I mean, there's a lot of things that a
Absolutely.
lot of nonprofits and for-profits and public sector, we're all trying to work together so that we have that network. So since you're the community outreach, if you can at least start, that would be nice to leave your card so we can start including you or
Absolutely. And
reaching
I
out
would
to the
love
other
that.
facilities, because there's no need to, if we can spend $1 and everybody can share that dollar, that would be nice, instead of cutting one of your organizations out. you
No,
know?
absolutely,
Okay.
and that's what we're here, you know, it's hard for a new agency to come into
Mm-hmm.
a, you know, established community already and, you know, to make their services known and to be a part of that. If it's okay,
Okay.
I can bring up
Yeah,
my
you
cards.
can give it to the county administrator, that'd be good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Thank you for coming in.
Have a great day.
So Michael DiCarlo, are you coming up, or is it Michael and Linda together? Oh, okay, you're bringing her for the extra 3. Okay, I got it. Mike's getting smart. Next thing you know, he's gonna have like cousins and uncles, and Mike's gonna have an hour. Yeah, he's gonna have.
Michael DiCarlo, 320 Alberta, Vermilion. I don't have any uncles up here, but I'm with you. Maybe my aunt. I bring her. I'm here with my lovely wife. Again, comments I make are for continuous process improvement and for a more perfect representative government system, local county government system. I appreciate personally the increase in transparency where you're putting the slides on the videos so we can, even though like difficult to see them, this was off, but you can go back and review them and actually line by line and see it, and understanding that government is a necessary evil and be able to go line by line to examine how much evil is actually necessary is a wonderful new attribute, I guess. Also, the elevators, much improved from the very first time I was here. I had to climb up them myself with a cane in my hand, and our wonderful deputy back there stood in front of me as I navigated them down. That's when I knew I was home in the great state of Ohio, where people actually help and have a regard for life. Right? And there was one other thing here too. I can't remember. I can't read my own stuff here, but that's why you got trifocals, right? Oh, and also the comments before the agenda items, brilliant. One day I'll be up here and talk for that there, but not yet.
Are you on our email list so that you get the agenda prior?
I know where to look for it. I learned
Okay,
that.
as long as you know where to look.
I know
Okay.
where to look for it. I watched the governor's State of the State address this morning. Missed it last night. Should have watched it last night. I was up all night anyway when it was insomnia nights. But it's not me.
Yeah.
I promise. One of the things I was found interesting that he spoke about was the mark system, where the state is now going to fund all the subscriptions, so that we won't have to pay subscription fees for the radios.
Well, it's in
And-
legislation, they still gotta pass it. That's
Agree,
just,
agree,
that's a
but-
wish list from the
But I
governor.
went a little further,
Okay,
and I went to the found on the Department of Commerce website,
yeah.
where specifically there are grants available for towns less than 25,000 folks to apply for radios, and they'll pay for the radios. As a suggestion, since we're having this shortfall in communication amongst our fire departments, perhaps we could get a radio that works, or have the folks that need the shared response, I forget the exact words for it, mutual aid, right? How about we have the folks that require the mutual aid buy a couple more radios to give to the folks that are given a mutual aid so they can all talk together in the shortfall. That's a way to solve a problem that we have here. The Department of Commerce could provide the grants, and I think they've said they're paying like up to, I forget how much they're paying per radio, but there's even a method in there for counties can request them, as long as each of the towns go through and request it in uniform fashion, right? As far as some of the possible uses for the American Recovery Act or the AARP,
Yeah, the ARPA funds, yeah.
yeah, ARPA funds, perhaps we could urge our communities or cities, towns, to do a fire hydrant inventory so that we can identify which fire hydrants are, in Vermillion, they're called low flow, they're painted yellow, and I'm a sailor, I call them out of commission. And I don't hold the folks, our firemen there, responsible for it. They're volunteers. I'm glad they show up. But there's public works employees that are paid to maintain them. Perhaps we can use some of that once we identify which ones don't work. And we can either make them work or remove them so that they're not hooked up, fire hoses aren't hooked up, and we don't damage vehicles and trucks using them like we did in Vermillion. You can go back to, I think it's October or November of 2001, where it's actually, it'll be in the minutes. It costs like $180,000 or something like that to fix the trucks. Other than that, it's been a great week, except it's gotten cold. Every time I come up here and I'm critical of the system, I get phone calls from either the Firefighter Cancer Alliance or the National Police and Troopers Association. I'm gonna give them $20, right? And like I told them I was gonna do, and I'm gonna mail it back to them. But after that, when they call, I'm gonna ask them to donate money to the American Legion Post 30 Parking Lot Fund. And speaking of that, we got a benefit this Sunday between 2 and 5 for the young lady. Her mother was struck in the crosswalk on East 28th in Lorain, and they're doing a benefit to offset the funeral costs. She has an 18-year-old daughter that's left to carry this on. She turned into adult like overnight, a little fast. And we also have
So where's the fundraiser at? American
the
Legion?
American Legion Post 30. You can come in and see Admiral King on the wall. It's kind of
Okay.
cool, by the fireplace. And we also do dinners there between 5 and 8, Tuesdays to Fridays, I think. Or is it Fridays?
Okay.
And they're delicious. I had fish one last week for $20, and it fed me for 2 days, and I'm a pretty round guy.
Does your wife wanna, cause she's got, did she, no, okay. Well, it worked out good. You got 4 seconds. Are you good? Okay.
I'm more than well, sir. More
Okay.
than well. Appreciate
I
your time.
appreciate you
Have a great
coming
week.
in, and nice to meet you. Okay.
Commissioner,
Yes?
just as a point of reference, you mentioned the governor's address and the MARC system. Those grants are available. The state supports the MARC system so that the interconnectivity is not just between Lorain County agencies, but the county, from county to county. And there are currently 77 counties that are on the MARC system, and they're eligible. The state, wanted everybody to be interconnected, so they developed a support system to, get their agenda where they wanted it to go. And that's, you touched on the edges of that, and I just wanted to kind of fill in the rest of the picture for the people that are listening.
Right on, sir. If I could reply. The MARC system, I know that perhaps it doesn't work around here really well, but I think that the state has responsibilities to its employees. That system is the responsibility of the state to make sure that its employees can speak to each other. And when you get Big Brother involved talking to people, you start using frequencies that I used to be the remote control to, right? That used to be able to reach in people's basements. And we really don't want Big Brother reaching into people's basements. It's okay when they're selling you something, but when they're there to take something away, that's a little bit too far, in my eyes.
Okay.
In my opinion. Appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you. Just so you know, we've offered, there's been an olive branch offered for myself to Mission Critical, and it seems like we've smoothed things over. They've decided to revisit the RFP and for no cost supposedly for the county, and so that we can go out for a rebid, and it will be not as slanted to one system or another.
Let's not, I
That's
think
all
it's
I'm
okay
saying.
to say we're gonna examine maybe
We're
a new
examining
bid.
it. Yeah, okay. Once again,
Yeah, let's not.
my lawyer's telling me what I can and can't say, so, which is hard for me.
Deb's not
Okay,
here, so
I
it's
know,
gonna
that's
take
very hard for me. Okay, I'll move on. Just on public comments, I would like to offer our prayers to Dan Ramos. He was my state rep where I live, or former state rep. He was way too young, and just Lorain County really lost a valuable asset, and it was sad to see what happened over the weekend that he passed away. So prayers do go out to his family. So I wanted to at least mention that. The clerk's report.
So Wednesday, February 8th, there was a typo, it said 7th. February 8th at 9:30 a.m. is the commissioners' regular board meeting.
We're still reviewing our weekly schedule. We're hoping to have more discussions maybe next week as we move forward. We're working with the staff to make sure that as we would like to make it a little bit easier for the public to attend and for our staff to not work for a meeting every week, so that they can have a week off from having meetings and organize. And our assistant prosecutor also would like to review our agenda items before we put them up there. One of the discussions we had prior to the meeting was how we read our resolutions. You'll see they might be 2 or 3 lines, but in essence, there could be a paragraph. And I've been getting calls about why aren't we putting that up on the screen? Well, the reason why is sometimes we just don't have enough time. And so hopefully, as we have these discussions in public, we can be able to have our meetings. We're leaning towards maybe a Tuesday evening, maybe a Friday morning to do cleanup for what we couldn't do on Tuesday, but then a week off so that the staff could prepare and do their jobs. So we're still in discussions on that, so we'll be having a meeting next Wednesday.
And then board correspondence.
Move to waive. You want to?
Second?
Discussion.
Like, don't let that one die, because then she'll have to read it. Yeah, she's gonna have to read it, man.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye. You caught me reading ahead.
I know. Well, do we have any new business from the board? Okay. Before I make my motion to go into exec,
If the board decides to go into executive session, there are 4 pieces of current litigation I could advise the board on. One piece of prospective litigation, so if the board goes
Right.
into exec, I'd suggest we go for that.
well, what I want to do is publicly say that I believe we should be going into executive session just because to bring the new commissioner up to date on those 4 pending litigations. I kind of didn't warn him what I did last week when I said how many minutes we spent on each. I didn't describe the issue. I said it was litigation. So I think I'm okay. Because my goal is when we go into executive session, when I come out, I might say we spent 20 minutes on personnel or maybe 20 minutes on legal. And if you picked up last week, you saw we took a 10-minute bathroom break, okay? But I don't think, only a few people caught that. So just to let you know, that's kind of, we are going to be going in exec today, just because I believe we all need to get caught up to date, and the new commissioner needs to get caught up to date on that also. So I'll make a motion to go into executive session in regards to those 4 items that the assistant prosecutor mentioned, plus 1 potential litigation issue and some personnel issues, as stated by the clerk previously.
Any discussion? Commissioner Moore.
Well, no, I made a motion for that. We got a second?
Second?
Okay.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Okay. Victor, you can cut if you want. It is, let's see, what time is it?
11:39.
11:39. We're in executive session from 10:25 a.m. to 11:35. We did discuss several issues in regards to legal, I think it was, and some personnel issues. So from 10:25 to 11:30, that is what we did in exec. In regards to the personnel summary sheet, I make a motion to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
And that is, I guess, it for today. So move to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?